It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 27th day of April, 2022. Coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia, Central Virginia area, right near Lynchburg, on a very nippy morning. Since I've been home, the temperature has gone from 89 degrees to 41. So I went from hot yesterday to freezing this morning. Oh, well, that's this part of the world this time of year. Today, folks, is National Guide Dog Day. This is especially, of course, important to any of our friends that are visually challenged and have guide dogs. But I thought it also a good time to point out to everybody, just as a reminder, I know many of you know this, but if you see someone with a guide dog, don't go up and try to pet the dog or talk to the dog. The dog is there to do business, to take care of business, which is to take care of a visually impaired person. You do not want to distract the dog. And dogs being dogs, if you come up and want to pet the dog or say nice things to the dog, it's going to wag its tail and want to lick you and do the things that dogs do, which detracts it from what its job is, which is taking care of the visually impaired person. Now, it is acceptable, I've found, from having dealt with a number of people with guide dogs, is that you can talk to the person that's visually impaired and ask them if you can pet the dog. If they then give you permission, they will give the dog the sign to go to you. So, but don't do it on your own. And that's one of the hardest things I had to learn being around guide dogs at all, because I always wanted to talk to them and pet the dog, and just like I do with all dogs. And that's the wrong thing to do. So I just wanted to point that out. National Guide Dog Day, folks. That's an important day for any of us that have disabilities, but especially those that are visually impaired. All right, cruise ship sailing today from North American ports. Down at Port Everglades, you've got the Island Princess. First time it sailed from this country in a long time. Out in San Pedro, the Navigator of the Seas, the ship that I just got off of, is back in port and going again. Up in Vancouver, the Zuiderdam. And out in Honolulu, the Pride of America Land Tour starts today for Saturday's cruise. So, headlines today, the Carnival CEO steps down. We're going to get to all of these stories. St. John, New Brunswick, back in business. Viking and Downton Abbey. That's a partnership, by the way. Msc Seaside to Port Canaveral in 2023. Barbados and Royal Caribbean partnership. AIDA removes PCR testing. And a crew member medically evacuated. That and a lot, much more here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you are listening to this via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or any of the places where you normally get podcasts from. All the biggies: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, all of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and the Fat Travel Guy should pop up. As always, if you would like to jump over to the video feed for this broadcast, there is a link in the description, so you can jump over and check out any pictures or clips we may show, either from my travels and adventures or from those of one of the members of the Chilliescruises family, as we're going to do here in just a second. As most of you know, yesterday was just a huge day for this channel and for me personally, as I was featured in an article in the New York Times and an audio clip. It was originally supposed to be a podcast episode. The podcast got shelved for one reason or another, but they still wanted to take the article onto the opinion pages of the paper and include the audio file, which was actually there was an intro article and then the audio file. I had tremendous response, not only from you guys that are all my regulars, of course. You've known about it all along, but a lot of new folks have come to this channel. The numbers for the last 48 hours have been quite high. A number of new subscribers. We welcome you on board. A number of new people that could well be watching this broadcast for the first time or watching it on replay. The last 2 days, my numbers have gone up considerably on viewers. So welcome aboard to all you guys. We do this 5 days a week, sometimes 6. Travel and cruise industry news. Then there's on Sunday, usually there are 1 or 2 shows that I co-host from London or Manchester, England. You'll notice in the chat room of this program that there is a constant ongoing dialogue between all my regular viewers. Feel free to jump into the chat room, introduce yourself, and become part of that community. As you can tell, and I always get over there by the end of the program, as you can tell, they have become friendly throughout literally the world and carry on ongoing conversations about usually cruising and travel in one form or another. So one of our family members, as a matter of fact, is on a cruise ship. And that would be the lovely Cindy Lee, a.k.a. Cindy Kane Derivianic, who is on the Norwegian Breakaway with husband Nick. And Cindy posted some pictures. They're staying in the Haven Suite, which she absolutely loves. Nice, huge bed. That's Nick, of course, in bed, Nicholas. The bathroom, the living room, and the suite. And of course, it's a balcony. So she loves being in the Haven area. They went to lunch at the American Diner, and that's a pretty good looking burger and a huge order of fries there, Nicholas has. And they went to Sheehan's for dinner, just had hors d'oeuvres for dinner. And then Cindy had a Purple Rain, which is going to be her drink for this cruise. And then after a really good comedy show on the first night on the cruise, she finished the night off with a chocolate martini. So a little bit, few pictures there that I grabbed quickly from Cindy on the Norwegian Breakaway. All right, I'll be back with news after a word from one of our network sponsors. And on with the news from Carnival Cruise Line. Is our lead story today. Carnival Corporation has announced that effective August 1st, Arnold Donald, the current president and CEO, is being appointed vice chair and member of the board of directors. Josh Weinstein, the current chief operations officer of the company, will assume the role of president and CEO. The 20-year veteran of Carnival Corporation, Weinstein has a long history of success in senior level roles in the company, In most recent position as COO for the last 2 years, Weinstein oversaw all major operational functions, including global maritime, global ports and destinations, global sourcing, global IT, and global auditing. During this time, he also oversaw Carnival UK, the operating company for P&O Cruises and Cunard. He previously managed Carnival UK as president for 3 years. Prior to his role with Carnival UK, Weinstein was treasurer for Carnival Corporation for 10 years. Before that, he served as an attorney in the corporate legal department. Donald was named president and CEO of Carnival Corporation in 2013. During his 9-year tenure as CEO, he led the company to record results, including achieving the company's highest profits in its history. He also led Carnival through the pandemic and positioned to return to profitability. Donald's new role as vice chair and member of the board of directors will keep him active in Carnival Corporation. Excuse my throat. Good heavens. All right, just after 9 p.m. tomorrow, Port St. John in New Brunswick, Canada, is set to welcome its first cruise ship in 2 years. Regent Seven Seas Cruises, Seven Seas Navigator, will do the honors. Seven Seas Navigator's visit will kick off the season that includes 70 scheduled cruise ship visits between now and November 13th. Cruise lines will call on St. John in 2022, with 87% of the visits scheduled in September and October. The busy cruise season for the region, due to lots of leaf peeping, Canada and New England sailings that many cruise line and cruise brands operate. Viking has announced a partnership with Focus Features, Universal Pictures, and Carnival Films for the release of the new full-length film, Downton Abbey, A New Era. The movie is a continuation of the first Downton Abbey film and TV series. During its sponsorship of the show through the years, Downton Abbey aired on PBS. Viking became a household name. The extension of the partnership builds on Viking's commitment to enriching cultural programming. The continuation of the 2019 film reunites the principal cast following the Crowley family and the staff of Downton Abbey. Beyond the Downton estate, this movie also will see the families travel to the south of France to explore the region and uncover the mystery of the Dowager Countess's newly inherited villa. This will be the first time that viewers see the Crowleys travel away from the UK. Msc Seaside, not to be confused with Msc Seashore or Msc Seascape that's coming in December. Msc Seaside, which was the first MSC ship to follow after the Divina first got here, and to the States, that is. The Msc Seaside will home port in Port Canaveral from April 16, 2023, as MSC Cruises expands its U.S. offerings even further. The ship will offer a range of different cruises with the 3- and 4-day sailings to visit Ocean Key U.S. Marine Reserve and week-long cruises that include visits to Cozumel and Costa Maya. Seaside will be the third U.S. ship to home port in Port Canaveral. Divina was first, followed by Meraviglia. Divina is back now while Meraviglia is in dry dock. Meraviglia will return in October for the 2022-23 winter season. And then Seaside will take over after that. Barbados and Royal Caribbean Okay, I'm showing that the audio is on. Can you guys hear me now? Tell me if you are still with me. I just discovered that the audio was gone. I did not know that. Tell me if you are still with me. I just discovered that the audio was gone. I did not know that. Now, where's that coming from? I'm getting a feedback from someplace as well. Yep, we can hear you now. Okay. Now I'm getting feedback from someplace as well. Okay. Audio is back. Sharon has no sound. She was on an airplane. Sorry about all that. I lost audio. I'm not sure when I lost it. So I've been over here looking at the chat room. I lost it after saying Barbados. Oh, and the last story. The Barbados story is when that was when it went out. That would have been Barbados and the agreement between the two parties with Royal Caribbean. Did that story come across, or did that when it ended? You're good now. Can't believe I'm watching on a plane and it's free. That's great, Sharon. Wow, that's pretty awesome. So somebody pop in. Did no to what? Hot air, Tom. Did it go out during the stories, during the news stories? Somebody give me a yes or no on that. Nothing of the Barbados story was received. Okay, I'll go back and pick that up and continue on. My bad. The Barbados story. Barbados and Royal Caribbean have announced a new partnership. The agreement between the two parties will allow Royal Caribbean to recruit more talented employees. Barbados will be operating close to Royal Caribbean in a new office in Miami. The office will be focused on finding employment opportunities for Barbadians in the industry and introducing potential cruise partners to Barbadian experiences. This was all announced. The agreement between CEO Michael Bailey of Royal Caribbean and the Barbados Minister of Tourism, Lisa Cummins. It was signed at the Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference. AIDA Cruises became the first cruise line that will not require a mandatory PCR test before embarkation. For all AIDA trips starting April 28th, the PCR test is no longer required when checking in at a port terminal. In the future, only a quick antigen test 1 day before departure will be required for all guests over the age of 3 to participate in a planned trip. A self-testing at home is not enough to participate in the trip. You need a test with a written certificate from a test center, pharmacy, or doctor. As before, an additional prerequisite for traveling with a cruise line is complete vaccination protection for all travelers aged 12 and over, including those who have recovered. And the last story, again, my apologies for losing audio. The last story was a crew member from the Luminosa, Costa Luminosa, was medically evacuated at the port of Funchal yesterday evening after suffering a heart attack. Funchal Port Authority was informed by the ship's captain shortly after the vessel departed, requesting a return to port in order to disembark a crew member in need of urgent medical treatment. After receiving the call, a medical evacuation was ordered, and they were dispatched to rescue the patient from the vessel. Around 9 o'clock, the crew member whose identity was not released was evacuated by the port and then transported to the hospital by ambulance. We don't have any information as to the condition of the crew member. So none of the pictures had sound. Oh, on the last stories. Just cleared my throat, and the lady next to me put on a mask. Too like the facial freedom she has, the freedom to mask. Lizzie Lewis is watching while walking. That's pretty cool, Lizzie. And glad to do that. All right, so basically over in the chat room, I said good morning to everybody. Kenneth and Tom were carrying on a conversation about upcoming cruises, going to Bermuda, possibility of Kenneth joining Hot Air Tom and me on the Sky. Kenneth said that he wants to ride the go-karts. Go-karts aren't going to be on the ship that Hot Air Tom and I are on, however. And that's when we seem to lose things. So, and I'm not sure how or why or whatever happened. Bonnie's with us. Gretchen's with us. Let's see who else. Mentioned Lizzie Lou. I think Sunny is still on the Bliss. No, Sunny's off the Bliss. Oh, no, that's right. She did the first Bliss, and then she's getting on the Bliss again in Alaska. Don't remember if that was the first one or if she was, I'm not sure. Yeah, I haven't heard from her. I know she got off of the Pacific Coast, the shorter cruise. Nikki's with us. Just got out of the echocardiogram torture chamber. Well, let us know how the results come out when you hear about them, Nick. So sorry you're going through that to get a pacemaker working correctly. If it's not one thing, it's another. Just want it to work. Yeah, I guess. Okay, and that's where Kenneth lost me. Couldn't hear. Okay. Okay, Bonnie was saying about Barbados, no sound. And then it comes back up, and that's Sharon is on a JetBlue plane flying to DC. And Lizzie walking and listening. Be sure you don't fall over something, Lizzie, and break an arm. So, okay, now let's see what's anything down here at the bottom. Can't believe I'm watching on a plane that's free. Yeah, I don't know if I said that on air or off the air. Goodness, how screwed up is this? Okay. That's going to wrap me up for today. Boy, I'll have a fun time editing this one for the podcast and get rid of all that dead air. Wow, I am so sorry about that, guys. Honest, I am, especially to you new guys. Well, if you're new to this channel, I do have a tendency to do something like that and screw up every now and again. So that's going to wrap me up for today. Again, it was a fabulous day. The last couple of days, the numbers have been great. Welcome to you new folks that are visiting this channel for the first time. We do the daily news, travel and cruise industry news. Most weeks, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Then depending on where I am on the weekend, there might be a show on Saturday, especially if I'm on a ship someplace. My next adventure is going to start on the 4th, and I'm doing a train from Lynchburg to Seattle, and from Seattle getting on the Quantum of the Seas for Alaska cruise, taking the train back, and our friend amigo John from Kristen, Minnesota, is going to meet me out in the middle of Montana and jump on the train and ride the train for the day back to where it gets close to him in Grand Forks. So that will be fun. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I will see everybody back same time, same channel, 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time tomorrow for travel and cruise industry news. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all meet on the high seas. Until this time tomorrow, you guys have a fabulous day. This is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.